Namaste to you guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, and if you want to be part of my spiritual podcast called Consciously Awakening, feel free to send me a message. Also, if you wish to work with me on a one-on-one level and get to know yourself in a more spiritual way, feel free to send me a message. Today I want to speak about lessons that I have learned from my spiritual awakening journey and how I managed to integrate these lessons, how I managed to stay focused in the process, and really what I learned in the process. Now, in my spiritual awakening journey, I have realized that we live in an amazing universe, and this universe is actually conscious. And really, the more conscious we become with ourselves, is the more conscious we become with universal intelligence. And I realized that the universe has actually tested me. The universe has tested me in order for me to actually become my best version, in order for me to become my true self. Now, the first lesson that I have learned was the fact that there is a higher and there is a lower nature, okay? A higher and a lower nature. And the lesson was the fact that I had to integrate my lower nature as well. You know, I had to integrate my lower nature as well. I had to really learn from my shadows. I had to learn from my wounds. I had to learn from my imperfections. Okay, so this is the first lesson. Learn from your imperfections. This is what I'm coming to realize now. And yes, we're not perfect as humans. We make mistakes. We get into trouble sometimes. We don't necessarily manifest what we want to manifest, but there is also power in our shadow self. There is also power in our wounds. There is also power in our lower nature. Okay, so the lower nature may be about the unaccepted parts of ourselves. The lower nature may be about the ego. The lower nature may be about the fact that you think that you're not good enough. And when you get to actually look deep within your shadow, you get to realize that you are complete in your incompleteness. You get to realize that you are complete as you are. You get to realize that there is so much power within yourself. And really, when you look within yourself for answers, you realize that the secret is actually within yourself. So I had to look within myself and I had to find the answer there. I had to go deep into my lower nature and find the answer there. Okay, now the second lesson that I have learned was the fact that, again, the secret is within. Okay, so the second lesson is the fact that the secret is within. As much as I was trying to find the secret outside of myself, I realized how much power I have within myself. I realized how much strength and wisdom there is within myself. I realized that I had everything that I need within myself. And the secret was within my body's consciousness. The secret was within my own energy field. And the more that I got to integrate my imperfections, the more that I got to have integrity, the more that I had to have authenticity, was the more that I was becoming my best version. Okay, so the second lesson is the fact that the secret is within. Okay, we live in a universe that is represented by inner and outer consciousness. And really, inner and outer consciousness are the same thing, because the outer world is reflecting your inner world. Okay, what you perceive out there is a reflection of your inner state of consciousness. And really, when you change the inner world, you also give the opportunity for the outer world to change as well. Okay, so look within yourself and change what you feel on the inside. Change your thoughts and your outer reality will change as well. Okay, so we live in a complementary reality. The more that we find the secret within ourselves is the more that we get to actually change the outer world, because the universe is actually responding to us. Okay, the universe is responding to us. Now, the third lesson, and this is actually a huge one, was the fact that there should be no fights or struggles with another source player. What does it really mean? We live in a matrix. We live in a reality that is simulated from a higher state of consciousness. Okay, and we all come here on the planet with a purpose, but sometimes our egos want to pick fights. Sometimes our ego want to pick struggles. And what I came to realize was the fact that I had to have self-control, and I had to really deal with the issues myself. I had to really look deep within myself and find the secret there. So the third lesson is the fact that there should be no fights or struggles with another source player. There should be no fights or struggle with another human being. There should be no fights or struggles, okay? So the moment that you actually operate from peace, from love, from harmony, you get to realize that the secret is within yourself. And everything that you have to deal in your life are the things that you have to deal with yourself. So if you don't feel enough, if somebody pisses you off, those things you actually have to deal with yourself, with how you choose to perceive them, with how you choose to feel them, with how you choose to respond, okay? I realized that I had to respond from love, I had to respond from authenticity, I had to respond from higher consciousness, okay? Now, yes, if we constantly pick fights and struggles, we are being at war. And we are usually being at war with ourselves. So the more that we end the war within, is the more that we end the war in the world, okay? So end the war within and see what happens. Now the fourth thing is source energy and vibrational alignment. I had to learn that I cannot always stay aligned with my true authentic self, and this is actually okay, because the disconnection is about learning to connect again. And really, I had to give myself the freedom and space and time necessary in order to actually make the connection with source energy again. Source energy is really vibrational consciousness. Source energy is the energy of the universe. And really, source energy is about feeling good and connected. Now, I realized that when I felt disconnected from my true authentic self, it felt bad. It felt bad, but in this process I have learned to actually take a bit more time with myself, and I had to actually learn to make the connection in a different way. And here I am standing feeling connected and joyous and happy. Here I am standing feeling like I'm becoming my best version. So it's about really becoming conscious in the process, and it's about learning to find your own way of expressing yourself. Okay, the more that you get to actually express yourself is the more that you get to actually use your gifts and talents. Okay, so if you feel disconnected from your source, this is happening because you are out of vibrational alignment. And when you are out of vibrational alignment, you feel bad. You feel like there is resistance. You feel like there is pain and suffering. But when you learn to make the connection in a different way, you get to actually become your true authentic version. So I realized that time and patience are the best warriors. And when I had time and patience with myself, I gave myself the opportunity to actually relax a bit more and get to actually turn into the vibrational aligned state again. Okay, so really you make the connection with the vibrational aligned state when you are listening to your heart, when you are listening to your intuition, when you are listening to your true authentic self. Okay, so make sure that you actually listen to yourself in the process, and make sure that you get to actually play your own game. Make sure that you actually express yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. Make sure that you are becoming your best version in the process by listening to yourself. Now, the fifth lesson was the fact that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, and the fact that we are actually one consciousness. We are all one, and whatever we do unto others, whether that is positive or negative, we are actually doing unto ourselves. Okay, so I realized that I had to send positive vibes out there. I had to send positive vibes out there, and I had to forgive. You know, the more that I forgive is the more that I raise my energy, is the more that I raise my consciousness. So the fifth lesson was the fact that we are all one consciousness, and we have to respect each other. We have to respect each other in a way that we love each other, and in a way that we see ourselves in the other. Okay, so it's about living in purity. It's about living in a state of consciousness that is represented by love. Now, of course, love and hate are the same energy, someone said, and if you really hate a person, that creates a bad feeling within yourself. But if you really hate a person, you also love that person in the same level. So yes, love and hate are the same energy, but love transcends hate. Okay, love transcends hate. And whenever we are operating as love, we are actually respecting the divine law of oneness. Okay, so we are all one source, one energy, one soul here on the planet, and we are all spiritual beings. We are all spiritual beings connected into one consciousness. Okay, so these are my lessons. These are my 5 lessons. Of course, there are many more lessons to be learned, and there were many more lessons that I have learned, but for today I just wanted to share with you guys these 5 lessons. Yes, we live in an amazing universe. We live in a conscious universe. We live in a universe that constantly responds to us. So in essence, we don't get what we want, we get what we need, we get what we are. Okay, so I realized that everything that I got something negative within my own consciousness was because I needed to experience that experience in order for me to raise my consciousness to the next level. Okay guys, so these are my 5 spiritual lessons for my spiritual awakening journey. Yes, it's not easy, and sometimes we have to forgive. Sometimes we have to forgive, sometimes we have to really step into that authentic space of consciousness. We have to really love ourselves unconditionally, and we have to accept ourselves unconditionally. Because I realized that the ego picks fights, but the higher self is about oneness. So my suggestion is listen to what you feel, because what you feel is important. And whenever you are listening to what you feel, you create the space for higher consciousness, you create the space for abundance, you create the space for intuition. Guys, thank you for watching, and yes, like always, see you on what is coming up next. I love you so much, and thank you for being here with me on this magical, amazing journey. Feel free to be yourself in the process, and feel free to embrace yourself fully, because you deserve to be loved, you deserve to be accepted, you deserve to be higher conscious. Guys, thank you for watching, and see you on what is coming up next. I love you.